Okay, we are live on YouTube, and I'm just going to make sure that we are live on the website itself. So give me just a moment here while I do that. Again, we are in trials here, beta trials. So one, we're pretty late to the stream tonight. We've already had some time on the stream that we were not broadcasting. And I am now on my own tonight, so I've decided to just come in and get the streams going here on YouTube, so I can kind of finish recording the remainder of my session today. Okay, so we are going to this stream live on the website. That is done. Okay, what are we looking at here? We've got gold, looks like it's coming down. I think I'm about to take a sell if it breaks through this support. We've got a little bit more momentum now than we did earlier in the evening, a little more volume in the market. But nothing too exciting yet. It's not looking like it's going to break through that support anytime soon. By soon, I mean, in the next minute or so, it might come back around here and push through. Let me change my camera angle. Let's see what we have here. There we go. Okay. I don't like this immediate sell because we have some support here on the 1 minute chart. I don't want to go to it quite yet because I might be taking a sell depending on how price behaves. Doesn't have much room to run in my opinion, even if it breaks through. Unless it's going to show a little more momentum. It already has some downward momentum, but it took a breather here. It is looking like it wants to come down, if it can just push through. Come on, let's see. I want to make a good decision here, but I'm dealing with a little bit of FOMO in that if this pushes through, I could get a pip or two before I see it hit the support on the 1 minute Hakanashi, it's especially visible on MT4. There's a support right here that needs to break through. Oh, that has disappeared. So now it's looking like if we do come down, we have, oh no, it has not disappeared. That's on the 5 minute, excuse me. So here on the 1 minute, there is some support right here at 33.41 or so. Oh, so that's right down here, 33.41, and we are at 33.44. So I've got room to, here we go. Let's go see what's going on here. I do have a little room. We have 2 minutes before the 8:30 candle. less than 2 minutes. We have 1 minute and 8 seconds. So I want to hold off unless it makes a decisive move. Looks like we formed another support on the 1 minute. And we now have about 45 seconds to go for the 8:30 candle, the next 30-minute candle. That might bring some more volume into the market. And it is looking like there's going to be a move here. I don't want to take it. Take it. I have some FOMO. But I have more fear of this happening, which is what happened here. Of me getting in and it going against me immediately. Even if it's only a little bit, I don't have any guarantee that in 5 seconds the 8:30 candle isn't going to push it up further. So I want to see what happens here on the 8:30 right now. And there we go. At least initially, it's pushing it up, and it probably would have hit my stop, and I would have been at a loss. So that was a good decision. A good decision not to trade. Just writing down. Decision not to move to a falsely promising sell. So now we wait a little bit more. Just checking my charts, making sure I'm going to go around the block here and look at everything. So we'll start here with the VIX. Hasn't really moved since we began our session. We have the wrong candles here on the 10-year bond. Supposed to be Takanashi candles. And this guy doesn't belong here at all, nor does that guy. All right. Okay. So dollar is dropping. Look at that. Since our session began, the dollar has dropped considerably, but gold has not really gone up in proportion, at least not simultaneously. Here we have the 5 minute. Expand that a little bit so you can see what's going on. So gold opened, went up, played around there for a little bit. This yellow line up here denotes the high of last week. Got a ways to go from that. That's up here on this chart. And here we are on the 1 minute, coming back up. Expecting this channel so far. And here we are again back to the 10-second futures chart. We're trading gold futures tonight, which means it's not the spot market. There's no hedging. Let's see how the stream's going here. I'll make sure. All right, that looks like that is running correctly. And we haven't seen much difference. I mean, where we started with the strength of the US dollar versus the weakness in gold, that has been about the same. But despite that, we have seen gold go up and come down. You know, it's really just kind of doing its own thing and not really respecting what its relative strength is to the dollar. I did have a decent trade earlier on my Top Step account, which isn't on the screen. I took it from my phone. The reason I took it on my Top Step account was I use a Top Step challenge account to kind of play around right now. I'm trying to pass the challenge, but I'm not. I would say not focusing my best efforts on it. I kind of use that account, at least right now, to experiment with, so to speak. What you're seeing on the screen are my Elite Trader funding accounts, where I am trying to pass multiple challenges here, copy trading multiple challenges at the same time. So a win and a loss are much more impactful because it's multiple accounts than if I just take an experimental trade or a low confidence trade on my Top Step account from my phone. I don't typically do that. That's not something that we focus on here in the streams. Won't be focusing on here in the streams. But I've been doing that for now. You know, while we're here in beta trials and just trying to get our streaming working. And another reason I'm here is I've decided, you know, I'd like to be recording my sessions just for my own journaling purposes. If I place a trade, I'd like to be able to go back and look at the trade and examine what I did right, what I did wrong. It helps me kind of stay sharp. In hindsight, go back and see if I actually saw what I thought I saw, especially if the trade goes wrong. I want to make sure that it was a trade that was worth getting into. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you can do a little wishful thinking. And, you know, like I almost did on that sell trade that I avoided almost 7 minutes ago. To refresh, I almost got into a sell right here when it, let's see how price came down here. Looked like it was going to go down, tried to fake me out. But I didn't have confidence in it for a number of reasons, a couple of indicators. The price action wasn't speaking to me. I considered getting in. I would say I came, you know, not within a microsecond of getting in, but, you know, if it had behaved just a little bit differently, it might have induced me to get in. It didn't. And then price immediately turned around, and, you know, here we are. I would still be in drawdown if you know, I certainly would not have held up to here, I don't think. No, I would not have. I would be out of that trade somewhere around here if it went up past this previous resistance. I would have just gotten out here. Oh, and to finish my thought, so the reason this is on YouTube is because YouTube just automatically records it. I don't have to store it on my computer or have, you know, my computer working overtime trying to save the video while it's running all of my charts and running Zoom and, you know, all that stuff. Now, if it comes down decisively here, you know, that would be interesting to see. There is no decisiveness to this. But I'm going to move the YouTube stream from there over to here. I'll I'll experiment with keeping it open so I can see the chats, you know, in case anybody were to chat at me. Live chat, open panel, there we go. Okay. Now I will bring that down. Here we go. I go this time. Looks like it kind of wants to. Okay. I'm in. And I took 40. Believe. No, I didn't. I took 20. No, that's not going to work the way I keep that open. All right, I'm going to have to keep that open there. So I took 20. That is better than a hot stick in the eye. Thought it had the possibility of going lower, and it might still do it. It does. I need to get back in. No. It's going to pop up. All right, so what happened here while I was doing that is I had the YouTube stream going over here and I couldn't control my trading panel. Okay. I want to keep a close eye on what's going on here because I might be getting back in if it continues this push downward. So that was more or less at 2039. Took a sell on elite accounts. 20. Well, I took 40, got slipped 20. But you know, c'est la vie. That happened. Okay, here we might be coming back down again. Now, do I want to get involved in this? You know, I'd like to, you know, of course I'd like to get one good trade tonight. Because the market conditions don't look like they're going to give me a bunch of trades tonight. But if I could get one good trade tonight on my elite accounts, I would call that a victory and end it. But I have to wait for a much better setup than the one I just took. That one was probably a B+ setup because I had some pretty big support right below my entry. So I knew that I wasn't going to get, you know, $100 out of that trade. I knew I was going to get $40, $50 out of that trade. And because it could hit that support and bounce right off of it quickly, it was a little bit risky. I'm going to say, I'll go back and look at that, but I'm going to say was a B plus setup, which in theory I shouldn't have taken. That is against my rules, and I slightly violated my rules there. So that is not a win. It's never a win when you violate your rules, even if the trade goes in your favor. I need to be especially cautious here because the market wasn't looking good enough for Tono to stick around. He gets a little impatient when the market isn't cooperating. And I'll usually stick around a little longer because I like to be here if something's going to happen. And if it doesn't, and I lose patience, it makes me susceptible of getting into a trade that is less than optimal. And I don't want to do that. So the longer I stay here, the more it erodes the mental capital and the emotional capital that I have to spend tonight. And so when I notice myself getting to a point where I don't have the emotional capital to trust myself to not get into a less than an A setup trade, that's when I know I need to call the session. I need to quit. Even if that disappoints me in myself or the situation because, hey, I wanted to earn some money tonight. But if the market isn't going to give it to me, then I can't take it. I can't take it. Okay, so let's take another little trip around the block. Go over here. We've got the VIX. Again, hasn't really moved much. These are 15-minute candles, so in the last hour or so, it's kind of moved up a little bit. We're at 2057. If I look at where we started evening with the I don't have it here anymore. What did I do? I guess I closed it. So we have the session briefing before we started the session tonight. We can see that the VIX was at 2057 and it is at 2057, right where we were. All right, the dollar has come down since the start of our session, plateaued, come down again, another step, and it's just kind of hanging out down here. This is the 1-minute candle for the dollar, the DXY, and these are 15-minute 30-minute candles So since we started, it has, kind of trickled down to here. So the dollar is showing some weakness. We're showing a little more weakness in the bond market. So both of those things indicate that gold ought to go up. This is the 5-minute spot gold chart. What we have here, bullish candles are yellow, bearish candles are blue. Bullish, and this is not bearish. This is a volume indicator. So this is increased volume in the market, decreased volume in the market, and it requires volume to move price. So if price is moving down, this is all the way up. It just means that there's a lot of volume in the market that is moving the price down. 1 minute, it's not showing us much volume. Respect to the 1 minute chart. And then the only futures chart that I have up, so I do all of my charting on the spot gold market, all of my charting. All of my indicators, I put in my calendar breaks. This is where the session started at 6 p.m. New York time, which is the beginning of tomorrow, Tuesday, in Asia. So we're now this many minutes into the session. We're 2 hours and 50 minutes and 40 seconds into this session. Now, in order for me to take a sell here, gold would need to decisively be moving, certainly below this support, but probably decisively be moving below this support. That would give us a little bit of room to run, maybe down here to close this level where the market closed at 5 p.m. Then we hit one of our pivots right here. That is the daily pivot point. So that is where we'd probably see a bounce up here anyway, which is where the market closed 5 p.m. Oh, here we come. Now we are getting some movement in the direction that I just said. So let's see what we're going to do. Let's go back over here to our 10-second chart. Now, even though you can't, I'm able to see the 5-minute chart, the 1 hour chart, and the 1 minute chart, even when I haven't switched to it on the screen that you can see of mine, because I have multiple screens here, and I can also see my MT4, which has multiple charts on it. And I'm especially looking at the 1 minute chart and the Renko chart on my MetaTrader 4 to determine my entry. I'm looking for confirmation on some of my indicators that we are indeed going down. I'm looking for reasons to confirm the price action that I'm seeing, which is price seems to want to go down from where we are, at least in this red hot moment. That could change in the next red hot moment. But right now, price pushes below here decisively. I would call that an A minus setup. Yeah, maybe not now because those candles are getting pretty small. Now if it pauses here, pushes against it, and then we get a bullish candle below here, then on the next, bearish candle below here, then on the next bearish candle, if it's still moving in that direction, I might get out. No, I won't, because I see a support on my 5-minute Hakanashi chart on my MT4 right at 34.4110, 34.4110, which is that's right here. So it has, I guess it has a couple of pips to confront that. So, and I'd probably call that a minus to B plus setup. Maybe I'm trying to talk myself into that being an A minus setup because I'm a little bored and I'm wanting to get that good trade tonight and it isn't coming. So I may be justifying a bit to myself that I'm seeing something that I'm not. I say that and I'm aware of that. That is a feedback loop into my decision making that I'm saying, okay, wrong decision to get into. Clearly, it didn't even show me what would have otherwise induced me to get in. Instead, it turned around and went up. So I never had to reach the point where I made that decision. I never had to reach that decision. But had it shown me what I thought it wanted to show me, I had already reasoned myself out of getting into that trade, which is the right thing to do, as I was saying earlier. What we're looking at here is we have price above the daily pivot point, which is right here, below our previous day value area high here. I touch upon that almost every day about what that is. I won't do it right now, but and how we derive that. That is an area where price will likely react, make a decision to either come down or go up. But the point being is you don't want to be entering into a trade when price is right next to this line because you just don't know which way it's going to go. And then here, what is this? This is the DM3. It's another pivot that I put on the chart. So we have good range to trade between this value area high and this pivot down here. And the only thing that we need to be cautious of in between here and there are these other lines on the chart, and there are plenty of them, right? We've got a resistance that formed here, another one that formed here, a resistance that formed here, which did not act as support. It seems on the way up, so we broke through that. So the best thing that we can hope for here in terms of a next trade is either a decisive move up from where we are now, know, we could maybe go from here to here. That's, a good dollar movement or more. We are 1 minute away from the hourly candle, 9 o'clock Eastern candle. But I don't know if I want to take any trades, any buys, because we've got the dollar showing more strength than gold. I'm going to refresh that just to make sure. Yeah. And we're getting mixed indications in indicators elsewhere as well. So nothing to do here. We'll see if this 9 o'clock candle in 20 seconds changes that equation for us. Okay, there it is. Keeps pushing up. As I said, too many mixed indicators here for me to jump into that. It may very well do what it looks like it wants to do, but I can't trust it enough to make money on it. We are pushing up into a little resistance here on the 1 minute Hakanashi. Going to push right through that. I am getting some pretty bullish price action. We're pushing right up into the previous value area high. Again, we can see that happening right here. We are coming up out of the 1 minute channel. We did hit this green line here, which is part of my swing low, swing high indicator. So okay, it's going. Let's see what we want to do here. If it keeps pushing up past that, then there might be a trade to get into. It is not pushing up past that. We are seeing some more volume come into the market. You can see that here. See how this is coming up. And momentum petered out for now. And back to the downside. Now this could be a sell here if it keeps coming down past this. Don't trust it yet, but no. Yeah, it could very well do it, but it's not showing me that it's not giving me the confidence. No, because it would come here. I would only have another little tick left before it might turn around. So no, I'm not going to do it. I would maybe be in profit by $10 now, $20, $30. Yeah, maybe could have done it, but no. Now, why do I have this other indicator down here? here? If we do, we're going to come up on this support, but again, I don't need to talk myself into a subpar trade here just because I'm not getting the trades that I want. It's not showing me what I like it to show me. It's showing me very difficult trades. Okay. No. Showing me pulling teeth trades. Trades where earning money would be like pulling teeth. Again. Good decision not to sell. Okay. Now we're getting a little bit different story. Volume is declining. You know, I don't really use this indicator on this chart. I just get rid of this. There we go. No. No. No, it bounced from there. Bounced from here last time. It does want to come down, but it's creeping down. And it's not giving me... You know, it's just kind of chopping. I don't like this price action. These are not ace setups by any stretch. So we're going to stay out. All right, I'm going to walk away from the chart for a minute. I'm going to go get a Sprite drink. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, here's where there might be a trade. You get below this, now we're talking. But still, it needs to show some decisive movement below that because we are right now at the daily pivot. And so, in order for it to push through the daily pivot, it's going to require some volume. But if it does push below the daily pivot with that volume, then we know we're going down at least a little ways. Now, what I don't like to see in any case is price just creeping down, grinding down. Hard to trade. You can do it if you have a high tolerance for drawdown. No, as long as the trend of continuing to grind down continues, you can wait it out. But you have no guarantee that price isn't just going to turn around at that point. I mean, we are at the daily pivot. So, no sense in getting into a sell trade here. Also, what can happen with one of them, with a major pivot like this, is price can move below it and then immediately just come right back up to it. These pivots can sometimes act as magnets. All right, so, this is usually around the time when we call it. We try to do these sessions from 7:45 to 9:15 or so. I have been here since 7:30, but not streaming live on YouTube. I just started that about 8:40, so we haven't been doing that so long. Just over a half hour, I think. Can check for sure. Stream started 50 minutes ago, 50. All right, so much for that. But I'm going to stick it out a little while longer. I might stay until 10, maybe about a little after 10. Because as I said, I'd like to get one good trade tonight. If the market doesn't show it to me, then I'm not going to take any trades. But I don't want to go away. Whoa, here we come. I don't want to go away and then have the market show me a trade that I could have taken. And you see, here we come. We push through the pivot here with some decisiveness. But no. It took a run at it. Could not get through. Now, what is so strange is if we look here, the dollar has been coming down all night. Dollar is weaker now than when we started the session, right? And even so, now where's that? I thought I just pushed that back, but anyway, here we go. Where was the dollar when we started the session? 98.95. 98.95. Where are we now? We're at 98.79. So it has weakened significantly during this session, but gold has not responded by going up. And that doesn't make a ton of sense, and that gives me less confidence in these sell trades. But among all indicators, price action itself rules and tells the story. The indicators will sometimes lie to you, but then again, so does price action sometimes. Happening here. Are we going to push through? Wishful think here, Mike. Don't wishful think. You need to see it pushing through before you do anything. it will finally get the momentum to do it. At 9:30, it is 9:19 and 23 seconds. So you see what I'm waiting for here is for this to move below the daily pivot, which is right where we are right now. This is the daily pivot. I want to see it move below this with decisiveness. Not a little piddly move like that. I want to see it say, hey, we're going down. Starting to get those signs, but it could still pop right up. Look at that. This next candle's trying to be bullish. It is below the pivot, but we are still in a support zone on the 1 minute Hakanashi on the MT4. So I really respect those. They're right very often, especially in low volume markets like we have right now. Now, I am up for the night, not by very much, but by a little bit. And ending up always feels much better than ending down. And so my next trade has the potential to wipe out my earnings and, probably end me down for the evening. I don't want to do that. So I want to be very careful about this next trade. And if it's not showing me what I want to see to feel confident in the trade, I want to stay out of the trade. I do not have my hand on the mouse right now. I cannot take an impulsive entry if I wanted to. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Sit on your hands, they say. Okay. So it's just going to hang out here for a little while. That's okay with me. We've got 7 minutes, a little under 7 minutes before the next 30-minute candle at 9:30 Eastern here on May 26th, 2025. If I look at the FX Blue relative currency strength here on the right side of my screen, I see that gold is still weaker than the dollar, indicating it wants to go down. But the weakness has been diminishing. So, on the other hand, I've got the FX trend showing me the top four are red, and that is new. They weren't that uniform a little while ago. I'm in the middle of a thick support on the, okay, so we're pushing below that on the 1 minute. Let's see what happens here. see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. We push through this. I will get in. Well, I don't want to regret it, but give me much. If it gives me anything, it's not going to give me much. No. Risk is not worth the reward. No matter how I look at this, I want it to be, but I'm looking at it. Maybe there's one pip in here, and I don't need much more to make my night. But the risk of it going against me is too high. The amount that it's likely to give me is too low. Okay. Grinding. It's grinding down, just not the kind of price action I want to see. Be trading it. Okay, we are at yesterday's point of control, which is this orange line here. We've now pushed below that. We are into some more resistance here. And you're saying, Mike, you could have taken that trade, you'd be in profit. And that is true. And I was not doubting that price would come down here. I mean, there's always some doubt, but I wasn't doubting that it would come down here. My fear was that it was going to do this little up, or it comes down here. And I'm trading full contract size here on futures. That's a big drawdown. I won't do that. That's my stop. I would get out of that trade. lose money before it came down and paid me. And so as it was showing here that it wanted to go through, my fear was it was going to do what it's doing now before it comes down. And do I want to take it up here and then take it down? Well, I don't know. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't have enough certainty that that's what price is going to do at that point. Now, the only thing I really am looking for here is a break down decisively below these supports, not grinding down, not a little bit and then back up, decisive down, or if we're turning around, a decisive break back above the pivot. There you go. Remember how I said that the pivot is this line right here, this purple line right there. Remember how I said that the pivot acts as a magnet. A lot of times it'll come down below the pivot and then snap right back to it. Really need to be out of the gravitational pull of the pivot before you want to start trading it. And I'm not out of that. Price needs to come down here below the previous day point of control. See, all these lines on the chart are places where price could stall, reverse, get choppy. And so there are a lot more places on the chart where you don't want to be trading than where you do want to be trading. And if price doesn't cooperate, if it doesn't get into the zone that we need it to get into to place our trade, then we don't trade. We protect our capital. You only fly the plane in favorable conditions. There's too much that could go wrong. Okay. Much that verified support for a ways down until about 33, 33. That's all the way down here. Then I've got the value area low. So I would trade again. I mentioned that I might trade in between here and here. This is the DM2 where a lot of sellers take profits. So I definitely don't want to be in a sell when price approaches this line. But anywhere in between here, I would. The problem is there are supports on the 1 minute Hakanashion by MT4. That is showing me that price is going to have difficulty getting down there. It's going to be choppy. And I'm not going to trade through the chop. All right, now we're back at the daily pivot. We're just slightly above the daily pivot right now. Here's the pivot. Price is right here. These pivots act as a zone, so you can kind of say that we're still right on top of the pivot. Question is, what will happen here? Will we hit this area here that was a support? Is that now a resistance? Along with the pivot, going to drive price back down. Just look how choppy this is. I mean, can you trade this? Yes, you can, especially in hindsight. But as that was happening, you've got little candles that are whip sign up and down. It's just not showing you any clear direction, any point. These candles here too. And, you know, they closed blue, bearish, but as they were forming, they whipsawed up. They were bullish for a while and then bearish again and then bullish. So in hindsight, that looks tradable. Sell here, take profit. Buy here, take profit. Sell here, take profit. But as that's happening, those are not moves that you can bank on. Look at this on the 5 minute. You can't. And you could have traded this candle and this candle, but you know, once you got down here, once this candle formed, you're already down here. Candle forms, you're right up against the point of control. Here you are at the point of control. It's bouncing up and trying to come back down, but it's bouncing up, trying to come back down. 5 minutes. Looks like it wants to come down, but it's plowing right into all of this work here. And on my 1 minute Hakanashi chart on MT4, I see that support all the way down here, right to the value area low. Right to the value, a little bit above it. Right here, but then I've only got a little bit to trade before it hits the value area low, and this dotted line here, that yellow dotted line is, or orangish yellow dotted line, that is the DM2. The DM2 is where sellers take profit. Institutional sellers take profit, and so we don't want to be in a sell there. This is showing decisive movement. Seems to be. Might get in. Took 50. It wasn't or no, maybe I took 30. See what I took here. My trade did not show up on my screen because I was on the wrong screen when I took it. What did I take here? I took 30. Okay, I'm going to seriously consider getting back in here. We continue down. But yeah. I think I got in early. Hopefully, it will pay me out. I'm in 10 negative right now. 20 negative. This is what I was afraid of. I need price to be moving more decisively so that I do not stall out here in loss. I'm in 20 positive, 10 positive. I was in 30 positive for a moment. Come on. There we go, 60. I'll take it. All right. That should give me what I need tonight to feel like the trade went my way enough. I took another $50 there. I don't even want to watch it here because we're at the DM4, or we're at the DM2. This is where sellers take profit. I don't want to get jammed up here. But I do want to resync my oh boy, I'm only $124 away from being a positive for the night. I'd like to make that up. When I say that, I'm not talking about for the night. For the night, I am definitely up. But I did take one bad trade on my Top Step account this morning, which again is an account that I only play around with, but I do include it in my P&L, and it is causing my P&L for the day to be $124 red in the negative. So I don't like to see red days on my calendar. So if the market will give it to me, I'm going to stick around here for another trade and maybe only take it on my Top Step account, depending on how things shape up. But again, only will take an A setup. Now, an A setup may be that we're going up after hitting the DM2 here. Don't fully see confirmation of that yet, but it's looking like it wants to do that. So I could take a buy. Yeah, I said I would be here until just after 10. It is 9:49 almost. And so I do have the mental and emotional capital to hold out. If it doesn't show me the trade that I want to see, I'm not going to take a trade and risk my progress for less than an A minus setup. Okay, I'm just watching price action to see if I take one final trade before calling it a session. I would like to take one final trade to kind of meet my goal for the evening / for the day. But I'm not going to take less than an A- setup. And if the market doesn't give it to me by 10 minutes after 10 p.m. or so, then I'm going to call it a session. Right now it is 9:50, almost 9:54. So just over 15 minutes left for us to see if there is one final trade to take tonight. Keeping in mind that the price is right just barely above this orangish yellow dotted line, which is the DM2 pivot. And right below that, we have the previous day volume area low. So, this is going to prove a difficult area to push through. But if we do push through this decisively, then there is a sell trade here. Here we see price coming down, hitting this area, bouncing up to here, coming back down, hitting this area again, and now bouncing up. But so far, it hasn't made the same height or a higher high, indicating a retracement on the higher time frame. We'll see if it turns back around and tries again to break through, or if it bounces again and heads up. Excuse me, I muted my microphone there so I could sneeze. Whoops. Okay, it is looking like this is going to be a retracement now. We have created a higher high than this one. We are starting to see the retracement on the 5-minute Hakanashi. We are 15 seconds away from the 9 o'clock candle, the next hourly candle. That will certainly give us a boost in one direction or the other. I'm sorry, for the 10 o'clock candle, the 10 o'clock, there it is right there. Let's see what happens. Okay. It's saying it wants to go up. And that did not do much. But as I said, I'm going to be here for another 10 minutes or so because it can take a little bit for this market to react once the hourly candle comes in. Sometimes that first initial direction that it shows like it's showing it wanted to go up here. It's a false signal, and it really wants to go the other direction. So we'll see. Back to the 10-second chart on futures. Wants to come back down, at least to the bottom of the channel. This would be a B setup if I were to take it. right, we've got about 5.5 minutes left before I'm going to call it a session. I'd like to see some decisive move downward from here. That would indicate a sell that I would like to take, but it needs, it needs to move decisively. And no, it appears to not want to do that. And the upward move is, may very well happen, but that is not a reliable move in my book right here. We've got too many other things, including price action all this evening, telling me that the market sentiment is bearish. It wants to go down. Any move up here is just a retracement on that move down that we previously had. And it does look good at this point on the 1 minute chart. It looks like, well, those would have been great buys. But it did not move decisively. It moved very choppily from down here. Up here, look at that. A little bit there, come back. A little bit up there, come back. A little bit up there, come back. I'd like to see straight up, like maybe we're seeing now. Now it's starting to say the momentum is upwards. May have reached zenith here. Now it wants to come back down. That last move was decisive, but it couldn't get further than that. It hit yesterday's point of control and this previous support right here, which has now possibly become resistance. It's having trouble pushing up through that. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. Doesn't look like we're going to see what I'd like to see. Although, I think what we can look for later this evening for anyone staying on, wanting to trade up to the London session, I think we'll see this come back down, maybe push through here. Come down, push through, and then back up, and retest that as resistance, and then push down. Or it might just come back up here and range for the rest of the night until the London session. It's hard to... no one knows. Can't predict it. But I think that's what you want to look for. Okay, we've got one more minute here. Gotta grab a line somewhere. Market is not going to give me that additional measly $124 that I wanted. So, c'est la vie. live to fight another day. We've protected our capital. We've advanced in our challenges. And we are good to go. Okay, chat. Okay, YouTube. Thank you for joining me tonight. Apparently no one did. That's okay. We're in beta trials here, and I am practicing calling what I see on the charts and narrating my trades and teaching what I know. Again, these are just beta trials. We don't even have our streaming page set up the way that we like it with all the information that we want to be showing here on the screen. So just bear with me for a little bit while we get this stuff sorted out. Okay, thank you, YouTube. Have a good night. And if you want to join us tomorrow morning, I'll see you at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Same time, same channel.